Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at the last words of 10 death row inmates. So stay tuned. For generations, the American public has been fascinated by the stories of killers, with their crimes often splashed across endless headlines and immortalized in numerous films and TV shows. Those intrigued hang on to every update, from the moment they're caught until their very last breath. As many of these criminals face the ultimate punishment via the death penalty, the public experiences a mix of relief, knowing they can no longer harm others yet still giving way to their morbid curiosity about their final moments. Through their official last statements, whether poetic reflections, crude comments, or ominous one-liners, we've gained some insight into their minds. From Ted Bundy's simple words to John Wayne Gacy's unapologetic demeanor, here are the parting words of notorious American killers. Coming in at number 1 we have Clarence Ray Allen. While serving life in California's Folsom Prison for the 1974 murder of his son's girlfriend who'd snitched on a robbery he committed, Clarence Ray Allen solicited hits on 8 witnesses against him. A paroled fellow inmate later killed 3 of them and was arrested while carrying Allen's list of names. Allen was convicted for those added killings and, at age 76, died by lethal injection on January 17, 2006. He was the second oldest inmate executed by the U.S. in 30 years. His last words, "My last words will be, Hoka hey, it's a good day to die. Thank you very much, I love you all. Goodbye." Coming in at number 2 we have William Bonin. Dubbed the Freeway Killer after many of his victims' bodies were discovered along Southern California roadsides in 1979 and 1980, William Bonin was convicted for 14 murders of boys and young men, although he is suspected of the rape and murder of many more. Bonin died on February 23, 1996, at San Quentin State Prison by lethal injection. His last words, "I would suggest that when a person has a thought of doing anything serious against the law, that before they did that, they should go to a quiet place and think about it seriously." Coming in at number 3 we have George Bernard Harris. After winning big in a Kansas City, Missouri, craps game on March 11, 1989, George Bernard Harris gave $500 to a man in exchange for 2 machine guns, then enlisted a second man to hold the guns for safekeeping. The second man enlisted a third, but when Harris wanted the guns back later that night, the third man couldn't find them, and Harris shot him dead with a revolver. According to the Clark County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, he was later picked up for a robbery, then charged and convicted for the murder and executed on September 13, 2000. His last words, "Somebody needs to kill my trial attorney." Coming in at number 4 we have Ted Bundy. The exact number of rapes, murders and kidnappings carried out by Ted Bundy is unknown. He was convicted for killing 2 Florida State University sorority sisters in January 1978 and a 12-year-old girl 3 weeks later, all committed after he'd escaped from jail twice in Colorado, where he was facing charges in the 1975 murder of a nurse. Per ABC News, before being executed in Florida's electric chair on January 24, 1989, he confessed to 30 homicides across 7 states between 1974 and 1978. His last words, "I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends." Coming in at number 5 we have Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos was a sex worker along Florida's highways and claimed she only killed in self-defense. But her shooting of several men in 1989 and 1990, Wuornos was convicted in 6 of the murders, landed her on the state's death row. Before she died by lethal injection on October 9, 2002, she invoked the films The Terminator, 1984, and Independence Day, 1996. Her last words, "I'd just like to say, I'm sailing with The Rock, and I'll be back, like Independence Day, with Jesus, June 6. Like the movie, big mothership and all. I'll be back." Coming in at number 6 we have John Wayne Gacy. A killer who dressed as Pogo the Clown for kids' parties and charity events around Chicago, John Wayne Gacy was convicted of murdering at least 33 teen boys and young men between 1972 and 1978. All were killed in his suburban Norwood Park ranch house, most of them strangled or asphyxiated, and Gacy buried 26 of the bodies in the crawl space beneath his home. In 1980, he was sentenced to die for 12 of those killings, and he was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994. His last words, "Kiss my ass." Coming in at number 7 we have Wesley Allen Dodd. After several arrests and court-ordered therapy for child molestation convictions, Wesley Allen Dodd pleaded guilty to the 1989 sexual assault and murder in Washington state of two brothers, 11 and 10 years old, and the subsequent abduction and murder of a 4-year-old boy in Oregon. He was executed by hanging on January 5, 1993, the first legal hanging in the U.S. in 28 years. Uniquely, Dodd refused to appeal his case or sentence and specifically requested that he be executed by hanging. His last words: "I was once asked by somebody, I don't remember who, if there was any way sex offenders could be stopped. I said no. I was wrong." Coming in at number 8 we have Kimberly McCarthy. Pretending she was borrowing sugar, Kimberly McCarthy entered the home of a 71-year-old neighbor in Lancaster, Texas, in 1997. McCarthy then stabbed and killed her neighbor in a robbery to support a crack cocaine addiction. She was accused of killing 2 other elderly women in 1998 but never faced trial in those cases. Her June 26, 2013, death by lethal injection became the 500th execution in modern Texas history. Her last words: "This is not a loss, this is a win. You know where I am going. I am going home to be with Jesus. Keep the faith. I love y'all." Thank you, Chaplain. Coming in at number 9 we have Jack Jones Jr. In 1995, Jack Jones Jr. entered a county tax office in Bald Knob, Arkansas, where Mary Phillips worked, strangled her 11-year-old daughter Lacey, then raped and murdered Phillips, who was 34 at the time. Investigators who arrived to document 2 homicides were startled when, after the flash of a camera, Lacey opened her eyes, showing she was still alive. Jones was convicted of murder and attempted murder and was executed by lethal injection on April 24, 2017. His last words: "I hope over time you can learn who I really am, and I am not a monster. There was a reason why those things happened that day. I am so sorry, Lacey. Try to understand, I love you like a child." Coming in at number 10 we have Rosendo Rodriguez. Rosendo Rodriguez III confessed to killing a 16-year-old girl in 2004, then packing her body in a piece of luggage and dumping it at the city landfill in San Antonio. He was convicted of murder for doing the same to a 29-year-old woman in 2005 and was linked to at least 5 other sexual assaults before he was executed in Texas by lethal injection on March 27, 2018. His last words: "I have fought the good fight, I have run the good race. Warden, I'm ready to join my father."